Dan, 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 Dan. Kilted Balls! Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the dancing I think made that all work. I mean, I'm gonna have to watch it, but it sounded like we were right on that time.
Sounded perfect as normal.
Of course, like we're always perfect. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Kilted Balls podcast. We are into February. We are in the last of the busiest weeks of my busy season, so I'm super excited about that. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So
I'm kind of excited to see what our life is going to be like once your busy season is over.
Oh my gosh!
Because how it was leading before it started, I was like, oh my gosh, like we're going to get so much stuff done. We might have to podcast every day.
Right? We might have to. I was saying today to two different people, two different higher up type people, but they were talking, and I was like, here's the problem with like bureaucracy. I'm like, my busy time is almost done. I'm like, I've been running on high octane for the last 7 months, right? I go, and so when my busy time ends, I'm still at high octane. Like it doesn't change just because everything stops. I go, so you get like 2 months of me of unfettered, pure energy that we can take advantage of and do amazing things. And the problem with bureaucracy is during that 2 months, I'm probably going to come to you with 10 ideas that would revolutionize the world. And you're going to be like, oh, cool, let's talk about this in 6 months or a year. And I go, it's done. Like, you've got a 2-month window that you can jump on the bandwagon, and then I'll run with it for the next 10 years. I go, but if you say, let's wait, something else will take place of that, and you're out. Like, you won't get the revolution you want.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah.
You're missing out if you're listening.
If you're watching, there was a puppet show that went along with this.
Yeah, there was a salute going on.
That was the 2-finger salute. To go with the dancing theme.
One in each hand, one salute in each hand.
One salute each hand. That's right. Yeah, heck yeah. So, you've had a week of unemployment. How has it been going?
It's been, so it started that I was getting a ton done, and I can't remember if I mentioned it last week, but I wanted to keep track of like when I was actually working, because I'm like I really need to make sure that I'm putting in X hours, you know, because if I'm not going to be away for 9 hours a day, I need to at least put in like a decent amount of hours here doing the stuff that I want to do. And it started out super strong, really good, and just like I think last week was just some weird things. We had court, and we all that stuff. So that ate up a day, and just some other things came up. The boys are sick, so but it's fine. Like, I didn't beat myself up, and I did a little bit of work over the weekends. But you know, the weekend in my mind is going to be more family time. But like so far this week, off to a great start. Like yesterday, it was over 6 hours where I was like at my desk and working and like doing all the things. Which,
that's amazing.
You know, with sick kids, I was pretty happy. But I started early. I started before anyone was awake. I was still up at 6:30. I was at my desk by 7, and I was just like working away. So.
That's amazing. Most people don't have that kind of focus or dedication. So,
So I'm the one thing that I'm still missing a little bit. I haven't worked in. My idea is after dropping the kids off will be my workout time, because I want to be able to get in a workout. And I think that if I do it right away and shower and everything, then I come to my desk. I'm dressed, I'm ready to go. Just that mindset. Like, okay, I'm ready to go. So I still plan on doing that. I don't plan on wearing sweatpants all day and just like laying around. I think that having some sort of structure and still doing that. So like tonight, I didn't do that today because, like, well, for one, we were supposed to have freezing rain today, and Gina had an appointment this morning. So, just I didn't take the kids to school, so I didn't come back and do that. But, this evening, I'm glad that you weren't available early because I decided to get a little workout in. I sat in the saunas for a while, both the hot and the steam, just because I don't want any of the sickness to get me. So I'm like, I'm just going to sweat anything that's trying to sneak in out. And so I'm just getting out of the shower. So I just have, my sleep stuff on.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be a big part, and just making that work and then having my set hours. I had already let Gina know, I'll still get, because I love getting up early. I'm always been that person. So I'll still take the boys to school, but maybe you just pick them up, and I don't go with you every day unless there's like something going on, so that I'm still here and there's that, 2-3 hours, because usually other stuff ends up going on and this and that, where I would still be, working on my books, working on the website, just doing just the different things that I want to get done.
Yeah, no, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous because when I have all of the time, I don't do that.
Nice. Well, you'll start out with this energy.
Maybe.
And Bean came to say hi.
Nice, hi, Bean. But that happens to me like each summer. I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm getting up at 6 and I'm gonna do stuff. Then I get up like at 7 or 8, and then I'm like, it's quiet here. This is nice. Maybe I'll do something, and then I don't do dang thing. Don't do diddly squat.
I had a baby headache this morning, and I almost laid back down. Like, I was up, and I had went to drop off orders just because I was like, I need to get them dropped off, and then I can focus. And I was so close, but I was like, nope.
You resisted the urge.
Yeah.
Well, that is impressive, sir. I'm impressed with you. I had a thought today on my drive home. That with the long hair, right? So you all can see it's getting longer. My flowing locks and the beard. And I got a pipe for my birthday. So that's like
nice.
Super cool. Yeah. And I was sitting there driving home and I'm like, you know what I want to do when I grow up? I want to be a folk singer.
There you go.
And have either play like a banjo. Ooh, banjo. I was thinking a ukulele or a guitar, but I think now banjo, now that I've said it. And have my pipe in.
That's awesome.
I'm like, I need to learn how to play the banjo.
I'm sure you can get banjos for not too much.
I don't know.
Especially like beginner banjos.
Can't you see me? Maybe without the shirt and tie?
Well, so I can definitely see that.
Singing Edmund Fitzgerald?
I haven't seen you without your headphones on until last week when Cal got his stuff, and the camera shined on you, and I was like, oh my gosh, Brian's hair is really, really long, because you were kind of sitting on the side.
Yeah, yeah. The headphones cover it up, but here, I'll take off the headphones so listeners can see.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Mm-hmm.
We are.
I
people are like, you are Bob Seger. You're Dave Grohl. I'm like, I'm me, baby. I'm me.
I know. I'll have to think of an instrument so we can travel together.
Heck yeah, look, you've seen it with Ava braiding it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to trim this, though. I think this needs to be, cut off. Right here.
Yeah? Think so?
I think so. I think it's getting, super annoying. It needs to get cut off. But, yeah. And I'm not sure what to do with this. I was I'm getting so many compliments on it.
Yeah.
That I'm like so many people are like, man, I love that look. I love that look. And I'm like,
it looks really good on you.
I'm like, I haven't gotten this many compliments on my look since college. I'm like, I'm kind of feeling good. Feeling good. I don't know how to cut it now.
See, there you go.
And I'm like, maybe I don't want to cut this either. Maybe just trim it up and clean it up.
Yeah. Ow! No, Bean. No, you get down. Well, she was messing with the strings on my pants, so I tucked them in. Then she tried to start attacking this.
The wire.
You don't get to play up here, Bean. Troublemaker.
That's super funny. So in other news, I got to check real quick as I say it, what book it is. But if you listeners remember, there was a little bit ago we were talking about the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, which is one of both of our favorites. And and I was saying, the first 5, shoot, I didn't want to do that. The first 5 are really, really good, right? And you were like, no, they're good way further than that. You're forgetting. And I'm like, I don't know, the first 5 are pretty good. I don't, it has to, go down, somewhere, right? Oh, I typed it in wrong. Well, right now I'm on Crown of Swords.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what book that is, Book 7. And they're still super, super good. Super good. So my memory was incorrect. I was wrong. It's not the first 5 that are good, because I read the first 5, then I read number 6. I'm like, man, 6 is so good. 6, spoiler alert, is when he gets captured and stuff. Right? Or was that 6?
I don't know them, honestly.
But either way, super good. And now I'm in 7, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is super good. So, yeah, they're still really good, really well written.
So, I mean, what is it? 10 people do give 10 a hard time, and I think that's where Amy stopped.
Yeah, Crossroads of Twilight, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which Robert Jordan admitted he made a mistake. He's like, he goes, I changed my writing style. I thought it would be cool and add another dimension. And he goes, and I was wrong. That ruined the book.
That's like saying a Dark Tower slowed down. Both of those series are amazing. So
they're both very good series for sure. So yeah. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I admitted my wrongness to the world.
Okay, so you're totally fine. Well, I had 2 interesting things come up this week, and I can't decide. We'll see if we get to the second one. The first one, because I kind of had to ask you as well, because it was a little bit out of my knowledge base, and I've been too lazy to look it up. So we were at a friend's this weekend. Actually, that was the thing, because both Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we had parties. So there was a kindergarten through 5th grade dance that we were at Friday night.
Okay.
But anyways, that's beside the point. We were at some friends on Saturday. Yep, Saturday night. And
Woo, bless you.
They have teenage daughters. I think the youngest one's a teenager, maybe. Yeah, because she's older than Oliver. Anyways, or real close. And the older one made a comment that Saturn's little storm is only 300 years old. And I was like, I thought I'd heard something like that before, but I wasn't sure. Is that a thing? I don't even, in my mind, I don't know how old the first telescope was where we would have been able to see that thing on Saturn. But I haven't looked it up, but I wasn't sure if that's a common knowledge thing that you would know.
So first off, I think you're talking about Jupiter.
Okay, sweet. Even better.
So I don't think you're talking about Saturn.
So it
is not common knowledge. It's not common knowledge.
But is it only so many years old? Like where there was a time where it wasn't there and now it's there.
Yeah, I mean it's a storm, so storms don't last forever.
Okay, but it's been around for a while. Okay, that's interesting because I had made the comment.
It's been around for a long time, right?
The storm has.
The storm has. I mean, saying 300 years is reasonable for the.
Okay.
You're talking about the red spot on Jupiter, right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, the red spot. I mean, probably.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it
So-
could be longer. Like, it was discovered in like 16. I don't know, 60, 1680-ish.
But there's a time in human knowledge that there wasn't a storm going on where you could look at it and it wasn't there. Whether we have pictures or not, just I'm sure someone would have written it down like, oh, all of a sudden we noticed this. Okay. This is stalling a little bit. Anyways.
No. Like,
so
no,
I-
because, like, we weren't looking at planets, like, that long ago. Like, you know.
I see. I wasn't sure how long we've been looking at planets
Let me do a quick.
So while you're doing that, so I had said, that's interesting. I think I've heard something like that before. Have you ever heard or seen where the Zulus talk about a time before the moon was in the sky? And our friend, and I'm trying to think back where I would have learned about the Zulus, Shaka, Zulu in general, and I don't remember if I knew who the Zulus were before playing Civ in college, but
Yeah, I
I
was just
think
gonna
that
say.
I think that I do. I think that, like, to me that was common knowledge, and common knowledge is a funny thing. That's why I worded it like that earlier.
Mhm.
And like, you know, people have all these different experiences, and something that, like, you know, I felt I've known forever, like, oh, of course, that's the Zulus, and you know, they're in South Africa. You know, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, well, there are these people. And I guess in their myths, there was a time in their myths before the moon was there. So it's just interesting.
1610 was when Galileo first looked at Jupiter through his telescope.
1610. And was there a storm, did it say?
I don't think the storm. What did I say?
You said
I said
300
like
was
16. No, I said the storm. We first saw the storm in like 1660 or 1680. But you got to remember, we didn't have, like, the first telescope to see was in like 1610.
Yeah.
So you'd have to wait till it was
So-
in the right alignment, and we'd have to be looking through telescopes and everything
So
else.
who knows how long the storm has been there?
Right. I would say they estimate it's, 3 or so hundred years, 300-400, but
I accept that.
but how do you know, like, how long? Right. And it's just a storm, so I don't know. It's amazing it's lasted for 300 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That seems weird. See, I guess I never realized it was a storm.
Oh,
Like, when I was younger, I wouldn't have, like, I thought it was just there.
like, it was somebody put some food coloring on Jupiter.
No, just, it could just be whatever. It could, well, because Jupiter's gas, so it's not like it's a landmass. I just thought it was just there. And I never gave it more thought than that. You
Right.
know me when I was younger. I didn't give a lot of thought to many things. It's something I've grown into.
And that was one of them.
Definitely.
That was one of them. Didn't really think it through. So you said you had freezing rain today?
Yeah, and there's still a weather advisory all through tonight too.
We're
Although it
supposed to
doesn't-
get 6 to 8 inches tomorrow night
Oh wow!
of snow.
it's
People
not
of
gonna-
snow,
it's-
you dirty bastards. Of
Oh,
snow.
nice. Yeah, right now it's not supposed to dip below freezing, so I think they called it off.
Okay.
Like, originally it was going to be cold enough. But when I went out this morning, they had already sprayed the salt water on the road, all the roads that I went on. So
Nice. So it was all
Makes
melted
sense.
and good, right?
well, no, it was just rainy earlier.
Oh.
But
All right, well, there's that too.
So another thing, and this kind of leads into what I was talking about earlier. I don't know if we've talked about limiting beliefs before. It's something that Bashar talks about, and I don't know if we've talked about it. It popped into my head because I was like I said, both kids are sick. So Morgan's temperature spiked yesterday, so Gina took him straight into urgent care.
Okay.
Ollie was saying that his ear was so we got a new thermometer, and Gina tested it on Morgan, and it said 106. Like, that seems really high. She tested it again, it said 108. She tested it on herself, and it said 97 something, so it was wrong. And so she's like, if it's close, we need to be in urgent care. Like, if it's, what do they say, over 104, you have to go to the hospital. Anyways, so Oliver was saying his ear was hurting. So, she took him in, and then Ollie, like, I'm just talking to him, he's eating, and I'm like, well, how bad does it hurt? And he said it's almost like the worst pain he's ever felt in his life. So I'm like, fine, let's go. You probably have another ear infection. Let's just go in.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. So, and Morgan was fine. When he got there, he was like 103.9. So they let him stay there.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor said it was like the worst flu they'd ever seen.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, yeah. So, and then they're like, well, be careful with the ear infection because he's susceptible to the flu that the other one has. We're like, oh, great. So anyway, Morgan's dad was there. Mm-hmm. Morgan's father, I should say. And then he went to get the prescription. He was going to come and drop it off. But since I had to go get a prescription for Oliver, we were both there. And I was like, hey, I'll grab it if you want. It's not a big deal. And he's like, oh, man, you can't catch a break. And I just thought to myself, like, it's such a weird thing to say. And this is why I'm bringing it up. So there are these things that we say and that we believe, and that they're just holding us back. Like, I would never say that. I'm excited that I'm beyond that point where I'd be like, oh, the kids are sick, can't catch a break. Like, what? Like, I catch all the breaks, and just sometimes the kids are sick. Who cares? So I don't know. It popped into my head, and Bashar talks about limiting beliefs a lot, and so yeah, it was just, I don't know. Do you notice that a lot? Because you interact with public a lot more than I do.
So I think we've talked about limiting beliefs a few times because it's like one of our tenets that you get back what you put out in the universe, right? And
yes,
so we always talk about
that same line.
Right. And so we always talk about put out the positive, put out what you are thinking about, always keep your eye ahead. Don't look at the negatives because then you'll surround yourself with the negatives and the negatives will happen because that's what you'll see as the negatives, right? Mm-hmm. Like he is looking at that going, oh my gosh, the kid is sick again. When in reality, he should be like, man, I'm so glad I don't have to live with that kid.
He's a handful when he's sick.
Like, I'm glad there's two other people willing to take care of this sick kid. Like, how amazing that I'm only going to deal with him when he's happy and healthy and doing great. Like,
that does happen.
Like, that's a dick thing to say, but like in reality, what the hell is it affecting you? Like, you are purposely saying negative stuff when it's not even that negative to you. Like, you're not you didn't wake up with the kid with a fever. Right? Like, that's not affecting you. But again, that's how people are. They want to own the negative.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, look at this. I can't catch a break. Well, you're like even taking somebody else's negative. You're taking a sick kid's like bad feeling health and making it your negative.
I didn't even think about it like that. You're exactly right.
Like, I've told people that before. Like they'll do stuff where like, oh, I feel so bad that this person is doing this and blah blah. I'm like, don't do that. You don't get their pain. You don't get to take that. They get that. They get to own that. They get to be stronger because they're going through those trials and tribulations. You don't get to try to own it and take away from them and take their part of it. You can help them, but you don't get to take their negative and try to, because what you're doing is you're trying to say, look at me overcoming my friend being sick. Yeah. F you! You're not overcoming anything by your friend being sick. They're overcoming. You're supposed to be the wonderful, supportive, happy person, right?
Yeah.
But again, they want the limiting belief. I think people honestly want limiting beliefs so they have an excuse.
Yeah.
And I talk to my athletes all the time. I shouldn't say all the time. I talk to them a lot. And we're about to talk about it, maybe soon. But I'm always like, don't give yourself excuses to lose. Don't try to make a reason up for you to do badly. Only give yourself reasons that you're going to do good. And if you are thinking that there's going to be an excuse, you attack that excuse. If you're like, oh man, you know what? I'm going to do bad because I didn't get enough sleep. Well, you know what? Then effing get enough sleep so you don't have an excuse. Remove all the excuses. Yeah. Give yourself reasons to do better. I'm going to do great because I got 8 hours of sleep. Don't be like, oh, I'm not going to do great because I only got 6 hours of sleep. Don't do that. Like, turn that narrative around. Give yourself...
Or I'm so excited. All my energy is only giving me 4 hours of sleep because I'm going to go out there and rock.
Yes. Yes. Right? Like, don't do that. And don't play the victim. And that's what they do. They want the victim, and they want you to feel sorry for them. He was looking for sympathy from you.
Nope, I didn't. I just was like...
Okay, you're going through the same thing. Why would you be like, oh, yes, I really know what you're going through because I'm literally going through it.
Yeah. Like, well, that's like... Wayne Dyer says that, and I use it a lot. Like, you can't feel bad enough to make that person's pain better. There are things you can do. There, just like you said, you can do stuff, action, but you can't feel bad enough to make anything better except for in your own world. Yes. And that doesn't help feeling bad.
No, you're not helping that person, right? That's not a thing. Like, you can feel sad, but that sadness should be here, not, oh, Kilton, I'm so sad. Like, that doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things, like, you've known this about me forever. I have a really hard time going to funerals. Not because of people being dead. We've talked about that a lot on the episode. That doesn't affect me. I get so annoyed at funerals, and it makes me negative because people are like, we are so sorry for your loss. Bitch, I'm sorry for my loss. Like, what? Like, that's not a useful thing to say to somebody. Right? What you say is, hey, I'm here for you. I know I haven't been around for the last 10 years, but I'm here for you. Just don't call me. Which is really what they're saying, right? Like,
yeah. That's not what I mean when I say it, but
you know what I mean?
You're exactly
like, you and I
right.
have been through a lot of deaths and stuff, and people will come in and be like, saying that, and I'm like, that's not useful, right? So but what else are you going to say? Like, I've wrestled with that. Like, what am I going to say to somebody? Like, like, if what I strive for in general is, like, maybe if I know something that maybe they don't, right?
Yeah.
So, like, one of my recent deaths that happened, the lady lost her husband, and it was tragic, and she was super sad. And, and I was like, I went to her and I was like, I don't think you know how much your husband influenced me and affected my life. Because, I'm removed from it, but he did these things, and, like, it taught me so much. And I just really appreciate that I got to experience your husband, and I just wanted you to know that he had that effect on me.
That's awesome.
And then that helped her. Like, me going up to her and being like, listen, I am so sorry for your loss. Well, what kind of a dick would I be if I was like, I am so happy for your loss? Like, what?
Yeah, good job.
Like, you're at the funeral. I assumed you were sad with me. Like, that's why you're here. Right? Like, but you know me. I don't like those weird, trivial things. Like, there's always, I'm just like, like, give me real. But, right? Like, and
maybe it came up because I've really, like, that's one of my focuses recently to, like if I say something, because even, like, little sayings, like, where did I get that saying? why am I saying it? Do I want to continue saying it? So I've really been like doing that sort of searching and just for my personal development. But here and maybe that's why I picked up on it more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but yeah.
But it's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing.
It's definitely a thing.
People like to be the victims. They like to have excuses. They like to take the negative.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, you asked if I see that a lot in the world, and I do. I see that a lot in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people...
Don't do it.
Yeah, I
it's
tell
just
people...
a choice.
I'm like, don't do that. Don't act that way. Right? Like I preach that a lot. I'm like, don't do that. Don't take the negative. Like, I'll tell kiddos all the time. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, like, I've got to work out tomorrow. I'm like, no. You get to work out tomorrow. Not everybody gets that chance. Like, not everybody has that ability. You get to go to school. Some people don't get to. Like, you get that opportunity. Like, I'm like, don't be taking the negative, right? You have a chance to improve your life status.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets that shot. Like, take advantage of that. Change the script in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, change that. But that's hard for people.
Right. Yes, it is.
It is. Because they've been taught that that's how they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, and that can be passed through the generations, and
their parents are doing it. Mm-hmm. Right? Like their parents do. Their parents try to take their negative. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I get that so many times from parents of my athletes. Like, they'll get so upset when their kids lose. I'm like, that loss does not mean as much to you as it does to the kid. Like, you don't get to take their loss. That's their loss. Let them have that. Mm-hmm. Right? Like,
yeah, let them grow and learn from it.
Yes. Like, it's hard. It's hard. Right? But as a parent, that's theirs. That's their... Don't try to take their pain. That's their pain. They earned that pain. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and on the other side, this just popped into my head, being a parent, because have we talked about games on here, and that I told the boys straight up, like, I'm not going to let you win. Like, if you beat me, you beat me. Mm-hmm. So that's just the understanding we have. And Morgie's like, oh, let's play tic-tac-toe. And I pride myself on being not like tic-tac-toe, okay, but reverse tic-tac-toe, like, I love, where you try to make the other person get 3. Anyways, we were just playing regular tic-tac-toe, and I just had a brain lapse. I wasn't paying attention, and he beat me. and when he beat me, like, I didn't even realize that I was beaten, and then I was like looking at the board, like, oh my gosh, like, I just lost. So it was amazing. I was so happy for him.
I honestly,
I didn't take his excitement.
I don't know if I've let my kids win very much, but I let adults win all the time.
You have to. That's different. We love you, Jamie.
We like you, James. Yeah, you. You won all those things.
Jamie listens more now, so he'll hear this. That's hilarious.
He probably will. Then he's gonna be like, screw you guys. Screw you guys. You don't let me win. Nope.
Maybe not as much nowadays. Maybe not as much.
So I find that what makes Cal beat me at things is when he sets the rules.
That makes sense.
He's beaten me at so many wrestling matches. Tweet time! Okay, I got 5 for that. You got 2. I'm like, that's not the rule. He goes, it's my rule. I'm like, okay.
Yep, that makes sense.
You know, we play a different level in our house.
That's hilarious. So you said that because we don't talk beforehand.
No.
Usually, but you had made one comment about dancing. Did you have something to say about dancing, or you were just
No, I was just dancing!
You were just dancing? Nice. I love it. Because that's why we were dancing at the beginning. You said something about it. I wasn't sure if you had something to share about dancing.
Okay. No. But you just made me have this. I had this thought today about dancing, right? And I was like, and you probably don't remember this, even though we've been to like lots of weddings. This song was on the radio the other day. And there's two parts of this that are important, right? But the first one is I was remembering back in like middle school, you were talking about dances, and we'd go to middle school dances, and the song would come on, and I would always be like doing this dance. Oh, you can't see my legs, right? Where I'm putting it behind my knee. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, you know what I'm talking about? With like push it real good. So that was the first part that I used to do that dance at middle school dances. Okay? All the time, probably even in high school. Like, who cares? Right? And I'd like take up the whole floor with my little like dance moves. But that's not the part that struck me today. What struck me today was that used to make, and maybe this is just in my memory banks flawed, but that used to make Leslie Miller so happy whenever I did that dance.
That's hilarious. I don't remember that. And it's funny because you brought this up. The only person I can remember like really dancing when we were younger was Will Ort.
Oh, yeah.
Always dancing, and I was telling the boys because they were excited to go to their dance.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, like I didn't start dancing till I was older. Mm-hmm. Like my mom taught me how to dance when I was young. We danced to reggae all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like we danced around the house, but when I went to the school dances, I didn't ever dance except slow dance. But yeah, and I was like, there's always this one guy who was always dancing, and he seemed to have the greatest time. And so I was like, you guys go dance. Like, just feel the music. And they're like, well, how do we dance? I'm like, you just feel the music and dance. You have fun. Like, you know, some people are better dancers than others, and you're a prime example. But no, I wish I would remember that, especially that it made Leslie so excited. It
always made her happy, and I remember like she would always have this huge smile on her face, and she just went with a couple of our other friends, I think, to like Florida, like I saw on Facebook. But it like I remember like there were times I would do that dance just to see her smile, and
that's awesome.
And the part that's weird to me mentally, like as I'm remembering all of this, that might be one of the few times in my early existence, like an 8th grader or middle schooler or whatever, where I was doing something to give somebody joy with no ulterior motive. Like
no ulterior motive there?
No, and that's why I thought that was weird, because I'm like I was trying to think back, and I'm like, did I ever have a thing for her or feelings? I'm like, you know what? I never did. And I'm like, how did that work? We rode the school bus to school. Like, you know, she was on my road. And I'm like thinking back, and I'm like, how did that happen? Because for those of you who have been following along forever, like, I liked everybody, right? Like, like I like ladies.
Yeah, I used to have a little crush on her. I don't remember exactly when, but
I was like thinking back, and I'm like, I don't remember ever having a crush on her. She was just always a friend, and it made her happy, so I did it because it made her happy. And I thought,
awesome.
That's like such a weird thing to me then. Now that's not weird at all, right? Like I try to make people happy all the time.
Exactly.
But it was weird then. Like back then I was doing it to get a date or get a phone number, get people to like me, because you're middle school, like, you know, like your identity is wrapped up in that. But it never was with her, and I'm like, that is weird. Like, what was it about her or about me that was never like a thing? I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that was my thing. That and dancing to Salt and Pepper.
Yeah. I'm trying to think when that actually... Well, I guess, we would have been in middle school.
We were in middle school. I used to jam out to that. I'd, like, be flying around the dance floor doing my little kick step.
There you go. That's
Which,
awesome.
you were talking about dancing at the last wedding. I don't think we showed you pictures or video, but like when I got there super late to the reception because of wrestling,
Yeah.
and everybody was talking about Cal. Like,
Nice.
He was
He's just
tearing
dancing.
up the dance floor, and like they had videos of him that they were showing me, and I'm like, he's been dancing since he could walk, so it's not like a
That's
surprise
awesome.
that you turned on music, and he had like girls, and he was like whipping them around, like dancing with these girls, and
Oh, that's great.
I'm like, yeah, he is who he is. He's got a lot of mojo, is what I said. I'm like, he's got a lot of mojo. So. Yes, he does.
He gets that from his dad, apparently.
Yeah, somebody. He gets it from somebody. I know. I feel bad for his teacher. She's like, he is always a distraction. And I'm like, cool. Like, I was laughing today because she sent like a note. Like, she's just like, hey, I'm looking for like suggestions for him. And she's like, he is a great kid. He's super, super nice, super polite, super bright, super smart, but he's always trying to distract everybody. I'm like, okay, so like the first four things you said, like that's the goal. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you're telling me he's being a good human and he's learning fast. Like, it's not my job to make him stop distracting people. Like,
Yeah.
I still distract people with my dance moves. So,
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
like, that's not the thing. Like, that's somebody else's gig. So I'm like, don't slow him down. If he's being a good human and you think he's awesome, then do something else, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like, assign him extra work that he doesn't realize.
they said, they're like,
Or-
we might assign him
Side
extra
checking.
work. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I told you before, make him run. Like, go tell him
Yeah.
run around the school, make him do push-ups. I'm like, we have unlimited energy. So you've got to try to soak up some of the energy. And I'm like, clearly you aren't. So
Yeah.
I'm like, and if you're making the choice to not try to soak up that energy, then you're going to have to deal with him distracting people because he's going to have unlimited energy. So
Yeah.
you've got to do something about that. Or fight different battles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, why are you
Yeah.
fighting that battle? You're saying
Yeah.
if he's doing good, he's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Fight a different battle.
Like, just do it.
Yeah. Like, pick something else to get grumpy about.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, people like to have the negative. So.
Yep. Circle back around. Way to tie that back in.
Woo! Bring it right back around. Full circle.
Nice.
Anyway, we are way over our time limit. Do you have
Oh, are
any?
we? Oops.
Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
No. All the stuff that I was thinking, all the stuff that I was thinking about, we covered at least a little bit. But every day, I'm like, I would love to be recording right now. I have so many ideas, and they just get, they go by the wayside.
Well, then
talk
we
about
need
the
to.
important
Maybe
stuff
we
when
need to
we're here.
do like some little 10-minute podcasts. Start
Or
going daily.
I could do shorts. Like, that's my job. I haven't.
Now that you
Yeah,
have
been
all the
like a
free
week.
time.
I know. I'm like a weekend, and I have my new glasses too. They're so easy.
Yeah, how could you not? Are they being awesome? I'm super jealous.
I love them. They are super cool.
Like, I
They're
wanted
really,
them when
really
they
cool.
first came out, and now I'm jealous. Like,
I almost got the first generation. I'm glad I waited, but yeah, because I was thinking about it when the first ones came up too. And
what do
these
you like
ones-
doing with them?
Well, at first I was doing a lot of shorts and things like that, especially with the bikes. It was really easy. I was doing videos that I was sending to customers. I do like a video or a walk around if it was a bike that they were interested in, like they called about, or like if they looked at it and then had to think about it, I would do like another quick walk around, and it was super easy with the glasses. 'Cause I
One
could
of the
still talk to
things
people I have
way
both
back
hands.
when we had the Google ones,
I never had.
I never
a pair
did
of the
either.
Google ones.
but I really wanted them because I'm like, I wish people could see when I'm coaching through my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this would give them that view.
Yeah, the Google ones were more AR though, because
Yes.
you could like look up what was going on. One of the it was before I played D&D, but one of the guys at Parker Banner, Kenton Wayne, the game store I used to go to. He had them, and I think he ran a Pathfinder game. But anyways, he used them all the time. He was able to get to like play test with them, and he said he loved them.
I was very sad that they disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone had to give them back. Yeah. It's crazy. Like,
so sad. So sad.
But yeah, we covered everything. Hopefully you did.
I hope so. Well, everybody, enjoy your night. We love talking at you. Hopefully someday you can talk with us because we think you're amazing. And this is Ballbuster signing off.
Kilter Dragon Jerry, love you all.